Okay, so what are some important terms that we need to know before we can start with our lesson? I'm going to tell you the words that we need to learn for this lesson, and then we'll figure out the definition of it. So the first word is numerator. What's a numerator?
On the top.
On the top of a what?
On the
So go like this, numerator. It's on top, numerator. What about the denominator? Bottom. The denominator's then the bottom. So say denominator. Denominator. Numerator. Denominator. Numerator. Denominator. Where's the denominator? Bottom. Bottom. Where's the numerator? Top. Where's the denominator? Where's the numerator? Okay, so the next one is improper fraction. What's an improper fraction?
Is when a number is different.
Well, what number?
A fraction. The numerator is different than the denominator.
When the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Okay, so say numerator bigger than the denominator. Numerator is bigger than the denominator. Okay? Bigger than the denominator. Okay. The next one is a mixed number. What's a mixed number? What's a mixed number?
When a number is different.
What's a mixed number? A whole number with a fraction. That's a mixed number when you have a whole number right next to a fraction. When you end up with an improper fraction, what should you always do?
Subtract.
No.
Add a whole number. Equivalent fraction.
When you end up with an improper fraction, what do?
You need a add or
We have an improper fraction, and we have to go from improper fraction to what?
to a mixed number.
To a mixed number. When you have an improper fraction, you always have to turn it into a mixed number, okay? So say improper fraction, mixed number.
Mixed number.
Improper fraction,
Proper fraction.
mixed number.
Mixed number.
Okay, now let's start with this one. So yesterday, the way we're going to solve this is by
Is this a U part?
this is the U part. So the way we're going to solve this is by doing this. First, I'm gonna add the whole numbers. So let me put it right here. 1, add whole numbers. First, I add the whole numbers. Okay? The whole numbers are 1 and 2. I'm gonna add those. That gives me 3. Thank you. And I'm left with my fraction that is 1/5 and 1/2. These are my fractions. Okay? Now to my fractions, what I have to do to solve this problem is find the equivalent fraction, because I cannot add two unlike units. So I'm gonna find the equivalent fraction. First I'll find the LCD, or the least common denominator. The least common is the least one, the smallest number, okay? Yesterday we were having trouble finding which one was the smallest. The least one is the smallest, okay? The smallest number that is alike, okay? So for me to find the least common denominator, I'm going to do my tic-tac-toes for the denominators. So 5 and 2. 5, 2. We should all know these ones. These are very easy. 30, 35, 40, 45. And 2 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay. Now to find my least common denominator, I'm gonna look at the numbers that are similar. I know from what I'm looking at, I have 10. So 10 is my least common denominator. So I'm gonna add a step right here. Write LCD so you know what is your least common denominator and you don't forget, okay? So write LCD. Now I know that my least common denominator is 10, meaning that for these two fractions, the denominator has to be 10. How do we find the fraction, the numerator that goes on top?
Multiply.
We're gonna multiply, and that's us finding the equivalent fraction. That's us finding the equivalent fraction. Okay? Now, okay, let's look at here. In number 5, we're gonna start with 5. In what position, how many times do we have to count to get to the 10?
Those.
2. Meaning I'm gonna have to multiply this equation 1/5 by 2. Okay? And I'm gonna multiply both the numerator and the denominator. Okay? Both the numerator and the denominator, but by the position the number is on. So it's in the second place. I'm gonna multiply by 2. 5 times 10 is what?
10.
5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 2 is 2.
No.
Okay, now let's go over this one. It's 1/2. In what position is 10 on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm multiplying both by 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. So I'm gonna end up with 2 10s and 5 10s. 2 10s is the equivalent fraction of 1/5. 5 10s is the equivalent fraction of 1/2. Okay? These are my equivalent fractions. Now I can add my equivalent fractions. So let's go back over here. 5. Add equivalent fractions. Add equivalent fractions, okay? 2 10 plus 5 10 is the same thing as 7 10s. Okay? So I have 7 10s. Am I done?
No.
What am I missing? My whole number. So to my whole number, I'm going to add my fraction. 3 plus 7 tenths is the same thing as 3 and 7 tenths. Okay? And my last step would be add fraction to whole number.
It's almost the same thing as yesterday.
Yes, but now you have whole numbers.
What about the number line?
Okay. Okay. How are we feeling about this? Good now? Yes? Okay. Okay. And this is what I just walked you through. This is exactly what I just walked you through.
The TV is so smart. I'm smart.
The TV is so smart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like someone. Look right
Okay. Now, we can also represent this same equation by using a number line. Let's draw a number line.
I think that one's gonna hurt our brains more.
Okay, so we have 0, class,
Yes.
We have 0. We have 1. We have 2. We have 3. And then we have 4 right here. Class, I'm over here. Okay, first we can add the whole numbers. Let's start with 2 and then 1. So that's plus 2 plus 1. And we end up in 3. Okay, now, next we can add fractions to the total of the whole numbers. So we know we have 1/5 plus 1/12, plus 1/2. What do you think is the next step? Okay, I want you to turn around and talk to each other. What's the next step? What's the next step? Okay, do I have a volunteer to tell me what the next step is? Yes. You?
Multiplication problem.
Multiplication, okay. We cannot add fifths and halves without finding like units. Therefore, we're going to have to find the what?
The least number.
The least common denominator. Say it with me. Least common denominator. Least common denominator. Okay, so we find it and we know it's 10, so we're gonna divide this into 10 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I only have to do 9 because that represents 10 10s. And I'm gonna add 2 10s, so that's 1, 2, and then another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 6/5, 7/5. Wait, did I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
You forgot 5.
Oh, 7/5 is right here. Yeah, I forgot 5. So 4/5, 5/5, 6/5, and 7/5. And that's where it stops right down there, number line. Okay? So, but you still need to find your LCD, and then you can use your number line too. Okay, how are we feeling about this? Good? Okay, okay, we have to try. Let's repeat our steps, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Add whole numbers. Find the LCD. Write the LCD. Find the equivalent fraction. Add equivalent fractions. Add fractions to whole numbers.
And we're done, okay?
And we're done.
Now let's try one we do, okay?
Yay!
This one's our problem. 2 and 2/3 plus 5 and 2/5.
Add the whole number.
2 and 2/3. I'm gonna put it right here. 2 and 2/3 plus 5 and 2/5. 2 and 2/3 plus 5 and 2/5. 2 and 2/3 plus 5 and 2/5. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what did we say was our first step?
Add the whole numbers.
Okay, let's call the whole numbers. 2 and 5. 2 and 5 is what?
7.
7.
7. More.
Okay,
8.
Now what do we do?